What is up, Los Angeles? Welcome to the Rams LAFB show. We're on here live with Brittany McReynolds, the great Brittany Betts.
Hi, guys.
After a 17-3 victory, we can call it. It's a win. It's a win in the win column for sure. But lots of questions. Or are there questions? Is this just what this team is going to be? I don't know. But we're waiting on Erin Coscarelli to join us at any moment now, but we got the two of us here. So, Brittany, how we doing? How's your nervous system holding up? How's the GI tract holding up? What is going on up in Santa Clarita today?
I'm alive. Let's just say that, okay? Because I was on the precipice of crashing out. Let's just put it that way. Like the first half, it was a roller coaster. And I mean, I think that's every week with Rams games, but it's a different type of emotions and butterflies when you're playing tons of backups. You know what I mean? A game that you're supposed to have in the bag and you guys look like our real team didn't get on the plane.
Yeah.
No, but I'm okay now. We got to win, an ugly win, but a win is a win. So on to London.
On to London. So some kind of big news coming out from this game. Puka Nacua and Blake Corum going down with what looked like pretty painful injuries, especially for Puka. They both came back to the sidelines. Both were on the field at times, but didn't play much and weren't much of a factor for the remainder of the game. But as of right now, it sounds like he is already questionable. Puka Nacua is already questionable to play in London. We'll see what happens as the week progresses. But just kind of quick going around the league, a lot of the NFC games that are relevant for the Rams are ongoing right now. I got the Rams and the Bucks on the screen right now. Mac Jones. Let's see if
the Niners and the Bucks.
Sorry, what's that?
The Niners and the Bucks. You say Rams, Bucks. Niners.
Oh, sorry, Niners and Bucks. We'll see what happens with that game. But around the NFC and the NFC West, we've got Seattle with a victory over the Jaguars. One of the interesting things from this game is Liam Cohen has really been cooking in the running game, and they were able to hold them to a season low rushing yard. So that's something interesting to watch. Eagles were beaten by the Giants. Cam Scattaboo legend is growing, but good news there for the Rams in terms of the record.
Hello!
And we've got Erin coming soon.
Hi guys. I don't see where's my video? Hold on, let me get it.
I've got a two thing selected, so let's go to a three.
Oh, there you go. Oh, see why
that probably makes a difference.
Oh, here we go. Now we're in. Sorry guys. Look at this.
This does something for us.
I'm so discombobulated because of this, I don't know what I missed out on, but we've got a lot to talk about. Hi.
Introductions right now.
Yeah.
Erin, Britt, Erin.
Hi, Britt.
Hello.
Yes, I was checking in with Britt's mental health, constitution and whatnot. How are you feeling just immediately after this game? Just knee jerk.
Yeah, knee jerk.
Put it all on the table.
I think it's just like a win is a win, sure, but like this doesn't feel good. It's not convincing as far as I'm concerned. Too many mistakes. I mean, I think the line was 7.5 road favorites, right?
Yep.
And to me, it's not convincing when you are up against a team that has like backups on backups, which was the theme of the week before. So my gut reaction is, while it's a win, it doesn't feel convincing, and there's just still so many issues to look at, right? Like, where is the issue happening on special teams? The last two games that they lost fell on the shoulders of their special teams. And then you saw again another missed opportunity with Josh Carty. I don't know.
I think that's where everybody's sitting right now. Is hard to know exactly what to make out of this team. Seattle improves to 4-2. So tied there with the Rams, currently technically second place. We'll see what happens with the 49ers. Cardinals drop a game against the Colts.
Almost pulled it off with Jacoby.
Jacoby Brissett looking all right. And then,
but I'm glad that the Colts won that game.
Lions and Chiefs tonight. It should be interesting to see who comes out on top of there in terms of the NFC standings. I know we're not in playoff talk yet, but I mean, it feels like every game is going to be relevant. And one of my takeaways from this year so far is, as inconsistent as the Rams have been, the good news is it doesn't seem like there's an NFC team that has anything figured out. And if they do, they're really injured. And, Eagles getting beat in division game. I'm not sure, about the Eagles. They don't look complete. Packers, again, Lions are looking fantastic. And we've got a frozen Brittany. We got technical issues. I thought she was just really entranced.
I know, me too. I was like, if you didn't say anything, we would have been like totally engaged.
So, I mean, it's too early to really talk about playoffs, but like as in terms of power rankings right now, where does this team sit in the NFC West or in the NFC period, I guess?
It's been the theme all season. It's a tale of two halves. We'll see one identity beginning, which again today, slow start. Thank God for the defensive efforts of one Nate Landman, who is all over the field, literally owns the land. Of course, some sacks. I think the Rams now have they're second best. So in terms of sack numbers in the NFL, but I just feel like it should be, when it's against these teams, it shouldn't be this hard. It shouldn't be this hard to complete the game and show up. And by the way, the Ravens gave gifts. How many turnovers? Was it at least three? Yeah. So
4.
Assuming you're going to play a team that makes those types of mistakes, what if that didn't happen? This would be a totally different result. This would have been like Thursday Night Football all over again. Mm-hmm. And, I just think, I think Sean McVay is still, while he's happy about a win and he's going to be optimistic about it, I think he doesn't feel like this is going to be a win. I think he feels like this is a lesson and an opportunity to try to understand what is working, what's not working. And for you, what was your biggest takeaway? Like, was it on the offensive side of the ball?
Biggest takeaway, I'm going to continue to hammer on the things I've been hammering on, which I've been trying to avoid talking about, simply because it's been a problem every week. Now you got problems on third down. Again, the execution on third down was less than stellar. We're looking at, let me pull up the exact stats here.
I'm gonna tweet our link right now. Or is it? Yeah. By the way, do you say tweet? What do we say now? What's the active way of letting people know we're tweeting?
Post on X. I've just gone back to tweeting.
Forever Twitter, and they're forever tweets. So
yes,
it's forever tweets, right? Yeah, it's just okay.
Forever, yeah. Whatever. X is a dumb name. Whatever. Okay, so 4 of 10 on third down, and then 2 of 5 in the red zone.
4 of 10.
Yeah. And kind of against this defense, they really should have been in third down 10 times. I don't feel like, and shouldn't have had a problem in the red zone. So it's, and then those, the pre-snap penalties. Sean Dolak with a really costly penalty on what would have been the 4th turnover. These things, they're winning games. So, but they got to score points. I mean, the goal of this game is to score points and to beat your opponent with more points, and they're not scoring a lot of points. So it's hard for me to talk about this team because I don't know what the identity of the offense is. It's Puka Nacua picking up big chunks, and it's Kyren Williams doing just enough. And like Matthew Stafford hasn't looked sharp over the last couple of weeks. Thought he missed a couple of throws. I don't like. It's just it's a hard spot to be because they're winning. They're going to be. This is a playoff team. But what does it look like when they get to the playoffs? That's always been my question. That was my question last year. I think this team has such high hopes. They just have to,
Yes.
tighten up along the offensive line, get healthy along the offensive line. And I thought that I think it was the first drive. It looked so effortless and so easy, like it should. And then they get down to the red zone and it just fell apart.
Well, and that's the thing that's very concerning for me, right? Like this was like a get back game after what, you thought maybe Thursday night was going to be a get back game. The Ravens, I think, own the worst scoring defense in the NFL. And for those of you listening, that also means they allow the most points. So to walk away from Baltimore only scoring, to me, it just felt like this was going to be a high scoring game and a lot was left to the imagination. Why is my question. Why, like you said, 4 of 10 on third down? Why is like these things? It seems very uncharacteristic of a Sean McVay team.
It's becoming a characteristic. It was very obvious what the offense was in his early years. Now he's changing, and I think rightfully so, making some of those shifts. There just needs to be one more element to it that has been non-existent. And it's, other than just saying it's execution on third downs and in the red zone, I don't know what that should be. Is it Blake Corum getting more time? Is it somebody other than Davante Adams being the go-to target? It seems like they've tried to force balls to him in the red zone because that's what they brought him in on. That's what they brought him in for. He's got a couple of drops today. He's on pace to exceed his highest mark, 4 drops in a season. Less than ideal, obviously. So, again, you just walk away from this not going like, oh, I learned a bunch about this team. They're improving in certain areas. There's just, they're good at what they're good at and they're bad at what they're bad at. And also emerging is this like problem with Cardi where, Sean McVay is becoming more of a wildcat when it comes to play calling in those situations, because now he's afraid that it's getting a point where he's going to doink it. I don't know.
It's an unnecessary stress that should just be considered a layup for this team who has put Cardi in situations where it's like, just do your job. When you look at the Baltimore Ravens 2025 schedule and the last 5 teams that they played before, considering going into this game, they had the worst scoring defense, or they allowed the most points in the NFL by almost double other teams have scored
41
on this.
Points from the Texans,
44 from Houston, 37 Kansas, 38 Detroit, 41. Oh no, wait, that they won that game. 41-40 against Buffalo. Like, to me, it's just the Ravens are not a great team and they allow a lot of points. And this should have been a get back game. It should have been like everything looked kind of right. I don't know if it's what your theory is, Ryan, that like they play down to their competition or up to their competition. I mean, I see Bees like nodding her head, and I'm curious to get your take as a fan. What frustrates you about this team, you think?
I mean, the playing down to our opponent, that's very characteristic. We do that quite a bit. There was a year that we played the Jets, and the Jets were going to have no wins to have the first pick, and Rams let them come here and beat us. I think we went there and they won, but that is just kind of like a pattern with us. But let's just with this game, I think that let's give it a little bit of credit. They didn't score a touchdown on us. We held them to 3 points. They did get a couple guys back on the defense that they didn't have last week. Like, I think that they had
Kyle Hamilton came back.
Yeah. So I don't think that this was like an all-star Ravens team. Absolutely not. But again, a lot of things to clean up, like you've mentioned, but we came out of there with a dub. A lot of personnel issues on our side of the ball too, because, you know, with the offense, Puka went out, Blake Corum goes out. That changes the run game. That changes your passing game, especially when earlier in the game, they were double teaming Puka and then it was opening up the pass for Davante. But then when they had them both covered, we were able to hit Higbee. So, you know, like Puka being in the game is
for sure.
blocking,
Totally.
You know, being a deterrent, being a decoy, that type of thing. So we have to take into account that he wasn't there. That's a big part of our offensive, let's just call that an identity. You know, but I think that McVay just kind of went with what he needed to go with today, considering Puka went out, considering we lost weight, and then you don't trust your kicker anymore, you know? So special ed, we know that. Like, there has to be personnel challenge. If you don't trust your kicker to go for a chip shot right there to put us up 3 scores, he shouldn't be on our team. He shouldn't be on our team. And that's going to be a tough decision that they're going to have to make. But I hope that they're literally looking for kickers right now on the plane to London.
I was wondering about that. You got a comment here from David A. Reeves. He thinks we're hand-wringing and clutching our pearls a little bit too much.
I'm not worried. I'm glad that we're having problems in the first half of the season that I can see that aren't as glaring as people may, you know, they're glaring because we can obviously see them. They're evident, but they're fixable. They're so
they are. They're so subtle.
When you think about our DB situation, if you look back, us losing Akello was probably what made all of that happen, because he was a bigger size DB for us that did his job. And then, that's a hole that we have to fill. So I don't think that I'm like panicking. I'm, you know, again, a win is a win to me. It wasn't a pretty win. And there's so much that we need to clean up, but it's all fixable. And I'm glad that it's happening September and October and not December.
Yeah. And also where we were last year was a great point, right? I mean, you know, we were not even close to having a winning
I think
record.
We were like 1-4 to open the
and I think you're right. I think these issues early are good. And you know, I think the next sort of wave of competition is easier too, right? I mean, they're going to go to London, they're playing the Jags. I feel like, and then the Saints don't have a very super strong secondary as well, or you know, but it just feels like it is so subtle, and that's what is frustrating, because as a discipline, the fact that they're kind of the same themes keep playing over and over. And I think the thing that was why Sean McVay is so brilliant is his ability to adjust on the fly. And we get ourselves into a late game situation where, you know, Puka goes out and you're like, oh God, what's going to happen? Puka's out. Oh my God. You know, Jordan Whittington, who's, I love him. He's great, but you know, had some missed opportunities, drop passes. Like, he is not the caliber of a player as a Puka or a Davante. You know, and I think this is his second season. So it's not, you know, but I think you just want to feel like you're not making the mistakes that other teams that would be better necessarily, that, you know, would capitalize them. And I think the Ravens gave the Rams so many free gifts in the way of turnovers. Like Ryan said, almost 4 on the day. I think I wouldn't necessarily count on that happening in the future. So it'll be interesting. I mean, like, because it is a win, what are we going to hear from Sean, who's probably speaking to the media as we speak? But, you know,
Yeah. Tyler Higbee, your leading receiver today. That's a new one, 28 yards, I think, for Puka Nacua. So interesting box score there for sure. So, you know, a big topic of conversation heading out of last year was improving the run defense. Today, obviously going up against Derrick Henry, he was kind of everything their offense could muster together when Cooper Rush was in there. Tyler Huntley also has some wheels on him. So that was interesting to see them, you know, trying to defend and stop Huntley as well. You know, nothing really takeaways from that, but, you know, two backup quarterbacks in this game. You know, I think Jacksonville's probably going to be a really, really telling game for the team.
I'm not sneezing at that game. You have to understand Liam Cohen knows Sean McVay. They're going to run the ball. Yep. We haven't really given up a lot of explosives and a lot of plays and touchdowns to running backs, considering the backs that we've played, you know, Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon. But Liam Cohen knows how to work a backfield. Like if you think about him when he was in Tampa, you know, like Bucky Irvin and that Rashad White thing, like he's doing that in Jacksonville with Etienne and I forgot the other kid's name. But you know, those McVay tree guys, sometimes they have his number. Like, so I'm not gonna say like this should be a walk in the park. Like, we're gonna be traveling across the pond. Our guys got to get mentally ready, physically ready with recovery, things like that. Yeah, this would be a good game. I thought that Jacksonville was gonna help us handle business against Seattle, but then that just tells me that Seattle they're a lot better than, you know, we were anticipating.
I mean, the conversation about JSN, I mean, there's people that are talking about him in the top 5 of the league.
Well, I was just telling you before we started recording, I mean, he's already looked like Jerry Rice on us before. Like he's balling out of control. And with our corner situation, listen.
Yeah.
Corner.
She said, listen.
Get on the horn.
She said, listen. So I had asked this, and I'll ask this poll again, a question again. If you could say the biggest glaring issue, if it was between pass protection, special teams, what was the other one that and the secondary, right? The corner. Teams. What would you say the most glaring is special teams? You would say it's right now, yeah.
It's the protection. It's that left side. You have teams that have figured us out. Like they watch the tape. They see where our deficiencies are. They see where they can get a jump. They see where they can go, you know, there's a hole where they can get their hands up. Like they have watched the tape and we aren't fixing the problem.
Yeah.
Like McVay said last week, there was going to be personnel changes. Joshua Carty is still on our team.
Well, and you know, it's interesting.
It's hard to have a kicker in this league. I get it, but the Niners let go of the kicker that they drafted in the 3rd round because he was costing them games. So,
yeah. Well, and it was interesting at the end of the broadcast, Brady was doing the coverage. I'm always fascinated to hear Tom Brady's broadcast, right? I'm like, how does he see the game? And then also, do I like his style of broadcast? I think he's had to really get comfortable in that chair, right? Because you kind of have to be, you know, I feel like he's very refined and very polished, and you sort of have to let loose. You just kind of have to be on the fly. Anyway, so I think we're seeing more of that with Brady, and and I massively respect the way he obviously sees the game. And at the end, when he was wrapping things up, he just said, which is true. He said the biggest issue after watching this team, it wasn't anything else. He said the biggest concern was their kicking game, serious issues. So 6 total kicks, you know, extra point field goals that Carty has missed is the most in the NFL at the moment.
Yeah, one a week.
And it wouldn't even, and it wouldn't even hurt it wouldn't even hurt so much if those 2 losses weren't in accordance with the glaring issue that the kicking game impacted. And so, you know, I like to deep dive and do a little conspiracy theory investigations. And one of a report was saying that Carty has been kicking, obviously kicks off for the Rams, hitting a knuckleball. Yeah. Did you know that? In an attempt to make it hard to field, bouncing around, yada, yada, yada. And there's talk out there that they're saying that the increased usage of his knuckleball during kickoffs is impacting his ability to kick it through the uprights or just in general. So that's something to think about, because it's like, why, you know? So because he was pretty dialed in the beginning, but yeah. Anyways,
I'm not a kicking specialist. And I don't really know any. Pat McAfee, what's up? The one time, remember when we were at Radio Row and Pat McAfee had that kid kick that punt behind us, really randomly. But yeah, I'm not a kicking specialist, but he's doing something wrong. You know what I mean? And that knuckleball is getting them. What game was that? That was the Niner game, right? Where they just could not pick up our kicks.
Well,
but
the Colts one was really kind of the
okay.
The
So
Eagles, the
maybe
Eagles
that's
one
what I'm
was
thinking of.
the Eagles
Yeah, I
one.
don't know
blocked.
what he's doing with his field goals. I'm not a specialist, but
Yeah.
he's
Well,
doing something wrong.
in high school, I played hockey, and we were trying to get this one guy who was pretty good at hockey, but he was a better golfer. And he was like, "I got to concentrate on my golf swing. I can't
Yeah.
like swing a hockey stick,
Yeah.
like because he didn't want it to affect."
Because see, there you go.
That
It
muscle
takes
memory type stuff matters,
Yeah, and batters, with their swing, it's probably a lot like that. I would imagine. I think that's an interesting point. So we got to pay some bills.
We're gonna have to start watching video, just
I can't
honestly
watching it.
Rams fans are going to be like serious kicking experts by the end of this, because we're going to just like bury this thing into the ground until it gets fixed. We're going to what is it? Sorry, pay the bills.
All good. Sleeper Fantasy, guys. Download it now. Use our code Rams LAFB. You get $100 if you put $100 in. If you put 5, you get 5 in. What can you use that for? Well, it's a fantasy app. What are you going to use that for? Daily fantasy. It's fantastic. 2 to 8 players that you can bet an over or under on. Really fantastic and a really good time. You can actually win cold hard cash on Sleeper Fantasy. So definitely go check that out. Use our code to get $100 and now additional $20. They're just giving that to you for free. So it's a good time. There's actually a social aspect to it. You can play with your friends. You can meet other Rams fans, and we've got NHL going on. NBA is coming back in a week or so. So lots of stuff to do on Sleeper. It's a great time. Go download it. Use our code. So yeah, I think the special teams is something to talk about. To our points here, to David Reeves' point about how good this team actually is. I was kind of touching on it about where they stand in the NFC. Are they, just as inconsistent as everybody is at this time in the year? Do they have just as many questions? Because good record for sure. But as of today, I just want to check in on this and get the temperature of it, because I'm just having a hard time because, I watch plenty of football, but this is what I pay attention to the closest. And I scrutinize the most, partly because I believe in this roster so much.
Yes.
There's lots of good stuff happening. They go to the NFC playoffs last year, make a nice run. Is it a failure if they don't make the NFC Championship game? Is this season?
Yeah.
Because
I don't think it's a failure, but I think that's where B&I's expectations are. So when we feel like they're under delivering on, I think this roster is better than last year's roster, right? You get now Jared Verse, defensive rookie of the year, give him more confidence. You have a guy like Nate Landman in there. To me, this roster is I believe a Super Bowl contending roster, and very much has hung in there with, arguably the Eagles, which playing in that game you had thought were for sure top 2, top 3 in the NFC. So I absolutely have that expectation that this team should very well go to, especially considering everybody's for the most part healthy, and they should. The Stafford's been playing absolute lights out ball.
And we don't know how much longer he'll be here.
And that's right.
That's where I am. That's where I am. That's
they have
really
to.
That's why they have to me, because it's just you have Stafford here and you have all these young guys. It is what it is for cheap. Okay. You got all these guys for the low. We don't have salary cap issues right now like a lot of other teams do. We aren't in cap hell. We're not selling our soul to cook the books. Yeah.
I love her.
She knows her stuff, Erin. I'm telling you, she's good stuff. It's
you bring up
the great point of the contract situation, and the Stafford situation. And I've been saying since the offseason that the Rams Super Bowl window is Matthew Stafford right now. We don't know how the draft is going to play out.
Totally.
He's on a 1-year contract. We're going to go through all of that again in the offseason. There's going to be trade rumors. There's going to be, other teams courting him. So that's all questions. Then those contracts start to pile up.
Yeah.
We're getting a contract next year. What are we going to do with Quentin Lake? Jared,
whole D-line is cheap right now.
all rookies across the board except for Poona Ford. Landman, what a revelation he's been on this defense. Making stuff happen. Thanks, for all sorts of stuff. He's all over the place, making crazy amounts of tackles, trying to get those turnovers. So, they're just in an interesting timeline where, and I think Les Snead loves to walk this line. Like, I think that's when he replacing Aaron Donald, he's like, what are we going to do? Oh, I'll just draft 2 guys, rebuild the whole line. And they did that. And they're threading this needle. They're walking this tightrope. And it's kind of been that way the whole time. But, the calculus changes as Stafford comes off the books, let's say. And they draft a young quarterback. Not a lot of young quarterbacks just get dropped into the league and take a team to the Super Bowl.
Heck no. And considering you have to be a certain type of guy to be in McVay's offense, to lead the offense. You know what I mean?
Totally.
As quiet as it's kept, he still exists, and there obviously has to be something there in regards to McVay trusting him, McVay believing in him, and just the development that's going on behind the scenes. But that's something that the Rams do. They like to keep in-house talent there to develop. They've done it multiple times, late draft round picks, earlier picks. They like to keep their talent. Other than the F them picks year, it's not like they go out and they make huge moves. You know what I mean? They trust what they're scouting. They trust what they've done in the off season in terms of putting in the work to get the guys. So this team that's around Stafford, they trust this team. Now that they're seeing with the Kello going down, there's probably some things that we have to fix in the defense. And then for sure, like they mentioned with the special teams, but to me, that's just saying they feel that this is the window and it's open and that it's in reach and that we probably will be, figuring it out.
The big conversation in terms of heading into the trade deadline, which is November 4th, so that's coming up pretty quickly, has always been cornerback. Yeah. In the back of my mind, my question is offensive linemen. Do we? Yeah. I mean, is that the key to this offense performing at a higher level? And I'll just throw this statistic out that I've just been obsessed with ever since it happened. 2023, Kyren Williams, yards before carry, was second only to Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
And that was when Dotson was going off. Havenstein was still healthy. Avila was had a fantastic rookie year. Yeah. And they were just running to the right between Havenstein and Dotson and just picking up massive chunks of yardage. And, in terms of pressures allowed, Baltimore didn't have any pressure on Stafford throughout the day. I think 2 only in the first half. So, I mean, is that a problem? I don't know. Like, is the offensive line the problem or a problem?
I think that Steve hasn't been there, so we really haven't seen it complete. We haven't seen all of our guys in their spots, with them having to make a lot of moves. I will say this, the beginning of the season when we got rid of the Willie Lampkin guy and the Eagles picked him up, I said, we better not have any problems with our O-line because you want to have depth there, right? Just for Stafford. I don't think that's one of the major issues that we have, especially that we need to be going all out for it. And I really don't think that they're going to blow a huge bag to go out there and get a corner. It's such a liability in this league. And when you think about it, there aren't that many just shut down corners. You kind of get what you get. I just saw Jacksonville traded for Greg Newsome. And I mean, he was getting cooked. You can attribute that to the fact that he just got there. but he was getting cooked. So it's like, do we really want to go out and get a guy and waste some potential draft capital, some money, have to pay somebody, and then he's not as good as Darius Williams, which is kind of tough.
But you know, pass protection is an issue. It's been an issue in a way, obviously, for special teams that contributed to, in my opinion, the 2 losses that the Rams have suffered. But I agree with you in a way, Ryan, because whether Stafford does stay another year, God willing, but maybe unlikely, whoever is stepping into that new role better have like a cloud of protection and that line getting very comfortable, because we obviously dealt with some of those issues last year with the injuries. And I think, yeah, your offensive line really sets the tone in terms of momentum, protection, your run game. You know, what happens if somebody goes down? Like, you do need some depth there. So, yeah, that's why I had asked the question. And I guess it's just all 3 are fair. Special teams, cornerback, you know, secondary, and then pass protection or offensive line. You know, I think to me, those feel like the 3 most glaring things that the Rams, like you said, need to just, there's subtle tweaks, but need to be navigated down the stretch for sure.
You know, a lot of these Rams games have come down to like really high variance stuff, like 3 turnovers today. Zay Flowers had
never fumbled in his career,
and he had 2. One of his was on him, just completely, just not paying attention to the ball going into his gut. The other one was knocked out fair and square. You know, I don't know where I was going with that exactly, but you know, the high varianceness.
The high variances, yeah.
You know, high variance plays against the 49ers really cost them in that game. Cost them against the Eagles. They were able to just sneak it out against the Colts. And like, I think this is just the team. And unless they go out and make a move, I think it's just going to continue to be that way. And now it could be anything. I mean, a move of on the defensive line, I would even give a thumbs up to, even just as a rental, not necessarily a pass rusher. I didn't love what I saw from Derrick Henry today. I'm nervous about what Cohen can do, as we've pointed out. You know, is a run defense going to save them?
Is it personnel though, or is it scheme? Because like looking back to that Niner game, a lot of that was the defense, the scheme that they were playing, like just playing off the ball, playing a zone. Like the fact that Kendrick Bourne cooked us in zone on freaking slants. Like I wanted to walk on the field and just get out there and start playing coverage, because it was just it was out of hand. But I feel like the guys that we have on the edge, the linebackers, this is the best middle linebacker play we've had Rams in I can't tell you how long. Yep. And then the guys that we have up front, our young D-line, this is an amazing front 7. We just got to figure something out. Like Shula, when you think about the Eagles game, we kind of gave up. And I get that it's complementary football, to where if your defense is going out there, shutting them down, your offense is expected to put up points at least, right? And that wasn't really happening in the second half for us. But the defense, whatever adjustments they made, it wasn't working. Like we didn't stick to what was working in that game. And then even in the San Francisco game, the adjustments weren't being made. So,
well, so
I don't know. I'm going to let Shula figure it out.
You brought it up.
Going anywhere.
You brought it up already with Akella Witherspoon going out. Their splits between him on the field in man coverage versus when hasn't been on the field, which is most of it, are incredibly terrible. Like this team cannot play man coverage without a guy like him on there. Now were they blown?
Because Shula doesn't trust us to play man or to press. Like, but you have look at the size of our guys. It's like me out there.
Darius Williams is 5'8" with cleats on.
She's freaking hilarious. 5'1". You're 5'1"? Oh my god.
5'1" with a 6'1" personality for sure.
Thank you.
I'll be right back.
Hey, Adam said today she plays big. I play big. Me too.
Yeah. But yeah, and then Emmanuel Forbes. I didn't even notice him on the field today. I don't know if he was out there. Kobe Turner. Kobe
But-
Turner was getting cooked as well. Or
So
Kobe Durant.
think about this. So did you see the Giants-Eagles game?
I didn't watch all of it, just some of it.
Okay. So they had a corner out there. Did they have a corner out there? I believe his name was like Flott or something. And he was like an undersized, small Emmanuel Forbes corner. And they had him on Smitty a couple of times. And I mean, he was locking him up. He had a pick. It can be done. Okay.
Oh, it can, but not with our guys.
Not with Emmanuel Forbes.
Darius Williams is a technician. He's able to do what he does, not because he's an incredible athlete.
He's out of his prime. He gave us his best years. I respect it. And we went back to get him because he was a familiar guy. He was a familiar body who understood, what we need in the building. But like I said, corners are liability, and there really aren't a lot in the league that are just absolute, just shut down, put you on your butt,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean the rules.
And that's why Rams fans will say we should have drafted one.
No, they didn't draft anybody this year. No UDFAs. They picked up Akella Witherspoon's contract as a free agent. I mean, that's the work that they've done. And you look at the two units we were kind of talking about here, how they constructed the offensive line. Steve Avila is the highest draft pick there. Alaric Jackson's a UDFA. Coleman Shelton, terrible year with the Bears last year.
Dodson. When we got him from Pittsburgh, we paid him. So
yeah, and he's been banged up.
He has been. And I mean, he took a lot of crap from that division game last year, against Philly, and just those last couple plays. But for the most part, I would say that the O-line, they've been doing their job unless they've been injured. And it's tough to deal with those changes. It's tough, to come in as a backup and take a rush from Michael Part. You know what I mean? Like it's wild, but.
Well, so the reason I bring up the
problem for me is special teams. Just go back and add up the points that we've not gotten,
Yeah, but you gotta
those games. Like,
you have to execute on third down. When you're in the red zone, you gotta put up 6. I mean, yeah, you should be able to get a
we've
field
been
goal
terrible in the red zone.
Oh yeah, I know. But so that's why I'm searching for answers on the offensive side. It's not Puka Nacua's fault. It's not Kyren Williams' fault. Maybe, it's not Matthew Stafford. Then we're looking at is this a Sean McVay thing? Is he not, like that was it a 4th down or a 3rd down in the red zone where he just faded it to the back corner, just uninspired play calling.
Do you think people have just figured out McVay? Could that be a little bit of this, like maybe he's, people are a bit more dialed into his planning?
Certainly defenses have take away what he does the very best. And he knows that now. And I think he's made some adjustments.
Yeah.
But I just, I don't think, other than Stafford and Puka, it's like, who's he just putting all of his trust in and being like, go make a play, dude. And then,
but that's always been us. That's always been our identity. And like that offensively, there's always been a crutch where it's been McVay, Stafford. It was Cooper Kupp at one point. And then when Cooper Kupp got hurt that year and Puka started waking up early, going to the practices, linking up with Matthew Stafford, he took on that role. And like, you can just see in terms of like the targeting share, the targeting percentage, it is just, we're not spreading the ball out. And like, if you look at the way that Seattle is using their tight ends, if you look at all the teams that are using 12 personnel and the success that they're having because of the fact that they're able to, that dictates the type of coverage I'm going to see on the other side of the ball, because I got this big tight end right here. You mean to tell me you're going to have a little DB? Okay, cool. Mismatch. Like, we aren't working it. Higbee today, this is like the first tight end game that we've had. And then when you look at the tight end 2, the tight end 3, they get no work. You know what I mean? Even like when it comes to blocking, like they're not on the field enough. We're not utilizing the position to do things to help our offense sustain drives, get up the field. Like it's just like every once in a while.
That was supposed to be the big evolution in the offense, was this 12 personnel. And so far this year,
it took Terrence Ferguson with our first pick. That's exactly what I thought. That's exactly what we would all expect. You got rid of Jalen Ramsey, and on the side of that trade, you took a tight end. So in that thinking of what you're trying to do, I would expect to see.
Oh, we get her back.
I'll finish that sentence. I'll expect to see more. A lot more.
They've invested heavily at the position over and over again in the draft, trying to find somebody to work into it, and it just has never worked out. It's been and so far this year, they are. That's a great phrase.
I know, poor thing. We should take her off. There we go. I would kill you if you left me up like that for more than 5 seconds.
Good note.
Yep.
When Higbee came in last year off of his injury, he was kind of electric. And it was amazing to see, and scored some touchdowns, picked up first downs, got them, kept the offense moving. And I expected that to roll over into this year. So far, the tight end position, when in 12 personnel, they're underwater in EPA. So there's
now you're muted. Unmute.
No audio so far. All right, let's go to some questions. David A. Reeves.
Can you hear? You can hear. How did what happened to me? Why did I get shut off? Did you unmute me?
I can hear you. Can you?
Oh, we're all on.
It's just crazy over here. Like kids stealing my internet. Probably my neighbors stealing my internet.
David A. Reeves wants to know, would you rather be in the Eagles or 49ers situation or the Rams situation?
Oh, now we're back.
In those games.
There we go. Would you?
Well, the Eagles and the Niners both won. So, I mean, what, come on, David. Like, what you mean?
Tamada agrees with us.
Terrible. We don't have a girly. That's huge. I mean, yeah, when you have legs like that, when you have Saquon-esque CMC legs, like that is just upper echelon of the running back. Like that.
All pro running backs don't grow on trees. I mean, this is a situation we're in, and unless something changes with Jarquez Hunter, I mean.
That's right.
Well, so against the 49ers, they used Blake Corum 6 times out of the slot. You saw him catch a heck of a pass to keep a drive alive in this game. So that's an interesting wrinkle that we've wanted for a long time. But he's got those fumble issues. He's got those drop issues. There's a couple.
They're both small too. Like Hunter may be a little bit bigger, but like none of them stand out to me as a bowling ball. Just get the job done, roll through people on the goal line type back. We don't have a third down back. We don't have like a CJ Anderson, Sony Michelle. Like we don't have that. Yeah, and McVay and his history with running backs, I don't ever expect us to get it. Like he is just so over them, and like it's weird. I need Pablo to find out what the hell happened with McVay and running backs to put us in this situation, okay?
Yeah. I mean, look, all great points, right? Like, does it just take them a while to develop their draft picks, right? Like, we had the same issue with Blake Corum. We're like, okay, you know, when's he going to be inserted into the rhythm of the offense and make his presence known? And, even still, we're seeing more of him, but you just want these guys to have some immediate impact, and Terrence Ferguson, like,
he's not ready, they said, and I want guys to be ready. Like he's missed a ton of camp, and I said this the last time somebody said that it's like calculus learning McVay's offense as a tight end. So I get that. Like I want guys to be ready, and like there was a clip that Kyle Shanahan actually said, and I couldn't believe I was agreeing with him, but he said that you have fans that say to him like, well, play the next guy, or like, God, that guy sucks, like the other guy can't be any worse. And it's like the coaches see these guys every day. So they got to be a little bit worse, or else they would have played them. You know what I mean? So it's just like we kind of have to trust the process. Yeah. And I think that considering that they went out for Ferguson the way that they did, and just the type of specimen that he is, second half of the season, I think that he should get his shine. Like he's slowly getting worked in, and you have to prove yourself with McVay. Like,
well, and also
like that, you have to prove that you are ready to play on Sundays between the lines.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also, remember, he was out. He had that groin injury, and he also didn't have Stafford like throwing him the ball the entire training.
Think about that with Davante too. Like he's been with Aaron Rodgers essentially his entire career, and then he almost died with Jimmy Garoppolo. So like this revitalization of his career, he wasn't getting the work that he was supposed to be getting with Stafford's back being aboard, and so. I think that we haven't clicked on just yet. I'm not too concerned. Like if we start dropping games to the Saints, and they're like really like blowing us out the water in SoFi, concern. But even thinking about that game, the game is starting to slow down a little bit for Spencer Rattler. So like in a couple of weeks, if they do come and play us a little better than before, like we can't always attribute to the Rams sucking. There's just so much parity in the National Football League. You know what I mean? Like the Saints just beat the Giants, and the Giants just beat the Eagles. So does that mean that the Saints are going to beat the Eagles? No, guys. Like it's just too much parity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and it's just it's just frustrating to watch the parody, I guess. I don't know. Like maybe it's just a disease of high expectations that I have. And we can, this team, each of the last 2 years that have gone on a run in the later parts of the season. I just want proof that they can win in the playoffs, and that doesn't happen until
the playoffs.
The playoffs.
No, I hear you. Because listen, I am very much so active on Rams Twitter, and I am so fed up with people who always give up in the first quarter of the game, who always says that the Rams aren't going to be ish. Like I am always jumping on there saying like, are you kidding me? Like, do you not understand that Sean McVay is going to always compete every year? We're going to compete. We may not be. On paper, the squad that we have is not performing up to par, the way that we expect, but it's fixable. And I trust McVay. Mm-hmm. That's just where we are. Like next week, we're on to next week with the dub. And yeah.
Yeah. I mean, looking at the rest of the schedule, you can't get too far ahead of yourselves. Buccaneers are out there. Obviously, we talked about the Jaguars. Who knows what this 49ers team was? It looks like Fred Warner got hurt.
No, that's big for them. Their defense is just decimated. Saw that they were looking for edge help, but they can't really afford many people. So,
they got a Falcons game. They got 2 Seahawks games. They got a Lions game. So, I don't know what any of these teams are at this time. So,
I know. Yeah.
Just observing this team so closely, recognizing the high potential that they have, and it just seems like it's like across every board you got to go and you got to flip some switches. It's like Jared Verse, like turn next level, offense entirely, just more execution. It's like the small fixable things, but there's like 10 switches we got to hit.
Yeah, and I think each week we get new information about this team and what their identity is, right? So, and what's interesting, when I was at headquarters Friday, because they were leaving to go to Baltimore, and they're staying there the whole week, and then they take a 24-hour trip to London, and then they're back. They're not adjusting their body clock to London at all. They're going to stay. I think they're leaving that Saturday, either that Friday or Saturday, and then boom, come home right after the game. So, it's not easy when you're a West Coast team. I think they have the second most air miles in the NFL. They're going to have to travel, and it's always not enjoyable when you have a bad back as a 37-year-old quarterback. But, I think the theme of this season, which we can all relate to in a lot of ways, is like, how do we respond when there's adversity? And that's what I feel when B was talking about Sean McVay. We trust in that, right? Like, we trust that he is an information gatherer, and he's going to go to the drawing board, and he's going to try to extract the best that this team can do, despite being human, making some mistakes, like, fumbles here or missed tackles there. And it's like, this team, why we feel maybe more frustrated than normal is because these little mistakes are so below than who the team represents, and the discipline that you see at the headquarters every day when you're there. And I think time will tell. We'll see. Yeah, like you said, the 49ers, we have the Jags, the Saints. Hopefully they can clean some of this up.
Yeah, 100%. I think I've said just about everything I can say on this subject already. So any last thoughts, Brittany?
None.
Yeah.
See y'all in London. Well, not really. I'm not going, but you know what I mean. I'll be up early.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that aspect of it.
6 a.m.
All right. Good reminder.
Yeah.
Apparently, London is just like LA without the heat. We're gonna have to have you on, David.
I want to go there.
Yeah, I was just talking to a Londoner last night at Frogtown Brewery.
Should we try to go? Let's go. Let's just
right.
reach out to Delta. Just tell them, you know what?
Let's
we're
check
here,
into
guys.
London town. That's my accent.
Well, thanks
right.
everybody. Thank you guys, Brittany, Betts, Erin. Thank you so much for coming on the show. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. We couldn't have this show without you guys and all your fantastic comments. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, please go do that. Like and subscribe. Absolutely. If you're not following us online, Rams LAFB, LAFB Network, Google us, find out who we are. And let's get this bandwagon continuing to go. This has been such a fun ride with you guys, and our fan base is continuing to grow every day. Is it Tamada? It's got to be Tamada. I love that.
Or T-Mata.
T-Mata. What's the matter with you? I don't know. Erin, where can they find you out there on the lines?
On X, you can just check out my first and last name, Erin Coscarelli, and then that's you can find me on all the other socials. I think just search Erin Coscarelli. A lot of vowels in there, but you'll find me eventually. I'm the awkward, typically blue wearing, also 5'2", not quite as small as Brittany. I am vertically challenged, but I can sling a football pretty far.
Okay.
I'm 5'8", just like Tutu Atwell, but I play about 5'2", so.
Yeah, you play big. Me too.
I play small. Brittany, where can they find you on Twitter?
I am only on Twitter. Okay, either at my house or on Twitter.
Girl,
Brittany,
let's get you on the gram.
I am not a social media gal. You'll probably think it's a guy tweeting because I'm so football obsessed. Like, that's my life. And yeah. Oh, go Dodgers.
Ooh,
Dodgers.
Can you repeat your handle? Because I spoke over, and I also I want to find you myself. So
Brittany, BRITTANY _bets. I'm gonna follow you right now, Erin.
Okay.
What a little test. Yes. What was it? Oh, Dodgers. Yeah, Dodgers are playing tomorrow.
Come on, boys.
Against the Brewers. What a series that should be. Should be super interesting. LA, we love you. That's what we're here doing. We're here to grow the Rams fan base. We're here to grow. We cover the Lakers. We cover the Dodgers. Are there Clippers fans? Are there Angels fans?
Not here.
Not
here, boo.
Not on my watch. No, I'm kidding.
Like, are there Chargers fans on this?
Oh boy. Don't stir the pot. Hey, big win for the Chargers. Pull it out at the very end there for them. So they're staying relevant. What a time to be alive and living in LA. I love it. Love you guys. I can't say it enough. Let's just get out of here because I just ramble on at this point.
You know what? Bye. Love
you.
Bye.